so much I want to talk about. I have absolutely no idea where I want to go with it, if I'm completely honest. It's something that I think about a lot. I've been conscious of it, I guess you could say, from a very young age, and believe that it's very difficult for us as men in today's society to navigate. And that's just like, in the broad scheme of things, social life, but most importantly, dating and finding women in any capacity. Like, we live in a society today where statistically you have more male virgins than at any other point in history. And now, whilst with statistics like that, it is kind of delicate, and you can seldom say for a fact that that's the case. But when you look around, the more you interact with new people, so on and so forth, it makes sense as to why. It makes a lot of sense as to why. And I hate to sound like another one of those people, but we really do live in a world where you are villainized for being a man. And when I say being a man, I mean unapologetically being a masculine man, a man that leads, a man that commands, a man that demands respect, along with a whole host of other things. And I feel like we've been quite simply conditioned, in a way, to do the opposite and suppress those feelings that we have inside ourselves, those feelings to conquer, dominate, command, demand, condemn, essentially anything that involves some sort of leadership, that we've been conditioned to think that makes us toxic, or that makes us a villain, or whatever you want to call it. However, again, I'm really hesitant to talk about this. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. In some ways, I don't really feel ready to really vocalize my thoughts and feelings on this kind of shit. And on the other hand, I feel like it's just everywhere on the internet now, and dare I say it, it's almost a little bit boring to me. However, society has yet to be changed for the better when it comes to gender roles. So I guess until it is in a much more stable and balanced situation, it's only right that people voice their opinions on it. Because I believe that as a man, it's extremely important to be masculine and live and exist and be in your masculine energy, and as a female to do the same in your feminine state. But for whatever reason, we live in a world where now, in the same way that positive and negative has become shrouded with this misconception that one is a good thing and one is a bad thing, when in reality, positive just means more of something and negative means less of something, depending on the context, of course. But in the same way, I feel like masculine and feminine has been wrongly taught to us as one being a good thing and one being a bad thing, and on the flip side, one being like the thing you want to achieve in some cases, and one thing being the thing you don't want to achieve. Like, it's really sad to me that in this day and age, there's women out there that are embarrassed to say that they want to be a housewife. They want to raise a family. They don't care about a career. They want to serve their family. They want to have a load of children. They want to run the household. But for whatever reason, they've been told that that's not enough. And you should be embarrassed if that's all you want from life, because you're a strong and independent woman who should go out there and conquer the world. Well, whilst you can, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to do that, in my opinion, condemning somebody for wanting to do what's in their nature is just, it's absurd to me. Because on the flip side, us men are now forced to, how would I put it, conquer in very subtle ways. We're now forced to lead and command in very rigid and regimented, strict ways, in which we have to align with certain rules and regulations in order to be accepted by society. Now, if you're a man that demands the respect of your household, there'll be people out there who try and villainize you for it. If you're a man that assumes responsibility for the safety of your household, as I believe you should as a man, you are considered overprotective. And if you're somebody who embraces that responsibility and, due to being responsible for the safety of that household, demand an element of authority over it, you are toxically masculine and controlling. That's bullshit, in my opinion. That's bullshit. In the same way, I can't accuse my woman of being toxically feminine for... What's a good example? The first thing that comes to my mind is taking my idea, and rather than just accepting my idea and saying, yeah, that's a great idea, taking it, consuming it, making it hers, nurturing it and growing it. I can't accuse her and then coming to me, with her ideas or my ideas, which, if she is aligned with me and her best interests are aligned with me and we are aligned as one, it's only going to be a good thing. I can't then start accusing her of being toxically feminine. It's like, no, like, thank you very fucking much for doing your job and playing your role and taking my idea and growing it into something greater. In the same way that on a biological level, you take my seed and you grow it into something greater. That's a capacity that I will never be blessed with. That is arguably the greatest experience a human being could have. Yet, we've been taught that if you want that over and over again as a female, and you don't want a career or you don't want this, then you're selling yourself short or you're not enough. In the same way that as men, if we want to protect our household and we want to assume responsibility for it, and then as a byproduct we demand respect and authority over it to some extent, we're the villains. Like, it's extremely backwards to me. It's extremely backwards to me, and it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. And it's testament to how well conditioned we've been to caring about what other people think. That, in my opinion, is one of the root problems to the symptom that is the imbalance in gender roles in society. Now, caring about what other people think is a root problem to a lot of issues that plague us in this day and age. But relative to our reluctance to take pride in our roles within the family unit, I believe it's quite potent, to be fair. I believe it is quite potent, because in a society where the only opinions you cared about were the opinions closest to you, which are the only opinions you should care about. I can count on my hand whose opinions that genuinely mean something to me, that I will go home, think about what they have said, and potentially change my behavior based on it. Whereas, because of the nature of modern society and modern technology, we're exposed to so many more opinions on a daily basis. Hundreds, thousands of opinions on a daily basis. Loads of validation and loads of invalidation, which we are simply just not hardwired for. We have not evolved to deal with that yet. We have not evolved to deal with the opinions past those of our immediate tribe. However many they may have been in our hunter-gatherer days, they definitely weren't as many as there are on the internet. So that, for me, is a huge sticking point, and one of the most powerful things I believe that can be instilled within a family unit is that the importance of not caring about any other opinion outside of our tribe. Now, I'll be real, I've been extremely gentle with the way in which I've discussed this topic today. Partly because I'm pretty chilled right now, I'm pretty relaxed, fairly low energy. Not in a negative way, I'm just chill, content, had a nice workout. However, it's definitely something we will touch upon in due course. Because there are some caveats to what I believe is the issue at hand. Well, there's a load of issues at hand that I'm extremely passionate about and believe in quite ferociously. So I look forward to exploring those ideas on this channel. I really do. And I'm very interested to see how it's received in many ways, because I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't something, this kind of topic of conversation, I guess, is not something that you would expect from a Train Everyday channel. But then again, I don't even know what this channel is yet. I train every day for health purposes. But what goes in my mind is far more complex than just caring about movement and wanting to be mobile and strong. I think about a lot of shit. All the time. So it's going to be a fun journey. If you made it this far, as you know, if you've been here before, I appreciate you more than you will ever know. And I shall see you tomorrow.